Peace. What's good? This is your brother C Knowledge, aka Doodlebug from the world famous Diggable Planets.
Hey yo, this your man CHJ of Duck City. This your man in the cut of Duck City.
Hey yo, this is Ed Dav.
Yo, what up, what up? It's your boy Hells, yeah.
Rockin' Yellow in the building, and we turned up.
Yeah, it's your boy Neff Dallas, and I'm rocking with the Mixtape Show.
To the Mixtape Show.
Mixtape Show. Mixtape Show.
The Mixtape Show.
The Mixtape Show.
My main man's DJ Kawan.
DJ Kawan.
DJ Kawan.
With DJ Kawan, blessing them like the Holy Quran.
Fire Rock Zone, Kawan J.
Let's go!
All right. Welcome back to the Mixtape Show. It's time for the Artist of the Week interview. And this week's Artist of the Week interview is brought to you by Art by Guilty Da Vinci and the Woo Worldwide DJ Coalition. And this week we got friend of the Woo, affiliate of the Woo. We got the homie Solomon Childs joining us. And what's good, sir? How are you doing?
I'm all right. I'm maintaining, elevating. You know what I mean? I like to try to stop saying maintaining, and I keep getting myself caught up saying maintaining. I'm elevating. You know what I mean? Because to maintain means that you're standing still.
There you go. Just keep it moving, right? Keep moving and keep moving upward and outward.
Exactly.
Dope, man. But real quick before we get started, man, I just want you to, if you don't mind, brother, if you don't, just a quick rundown, man, of some of your career highlights up to this point, so we can kind of get a base and we'll move from there as far as what you've done up to this point in your career.
Some of my career highlights probably Capadonna's Pillage album. I was on the Pillage, Blood on Blood War. Ghostface's Supreme Clientele. I was on a few skits. I was on Stroke of Death. The Theodore Unit album. I was on like 4 or 5 songs on that album. Debut. Riggs' albums. Fools. A song with me and Killer Sin. That Deck, my own album, Castleton Avenue. Underwood Music Group. To 6, 7, maybe 8 mixtapes, you know what I mean? Everything gold. 2, 3 went platinum. Platinum albums I've been on, and everything that I put out on my own went gold. So, I'm just, like I said, elevating.
Dope, man. So that means the core audience has always been there for you and keep supporting you throughout this point in your career, huh? We don't see that too much now, man. It's kind of like everybody, not everybody, but the way the industry moves now, it's kind of like I give you about 2 weeks of my time and then let's move on to the next one,
Well, it's always been like that, kind of. You know what I mean? You got to grab the consumer's attention. That's always the thing. And a lot of times people don't grab the consumer's attention because they're too busy trying to follow the last person that they heard.
Mm-hmm.
In order to grab the attention of the people, you have to be original.
Exactly.
That's one thing that people strive for. That's why I always, resemble myself as the voice of the people, because, one thing that the people always want is originality.
Exactly. And originality and organic movement always rises to the top. Exactly, man. Well, before we get into what's going on now, man, let me ask you this. Who did you study coming up? Who were some of your favorite artists when you kind of decided that you really wanted to go full forward with this?
My artist that, really made me, decide that, okay, this is what I want to be was Special Ed.
Okay. Nice.
Only reason why Special Ed is because I had no knowledge of hip hop music.
Uh-huh.
My mom was a pop artist girl, as us coming up in her, bringing us to school in her car in the morning, what I mean?
Uh-huh.
It was Pat Benatar and Whitney Houston, God bless her, and Sade and Ashford and Simpson, and it was that kind of music, that she played in her car, what I mean? Luther Vandross, things like that. And then when my dad picked us up from school, you know, to bring us home, he was like a cowboy, you know, and his thing was George Strait and Willie Nelson and Conway Twitty and Dolly Parton and, you know, Randy Travis. So, you know, I didn't really know too much about hip-hop music, you know what I mean? And, you know, just coming up under my cousins, you know, being in junior high school and them, like, you know, singing certain songs, like, Big Daddy Kane and things like that. I was like, you know, well, what is that? You know what I mean? And they was looking at me like I had 6 heads. Like, you know what I mean? What do you mean, what is this? You know what I mean? And I'm like, yeah, what music is that? And they're like, you know, do you ever watch Channel 31 when you get home from school? And I was like, no, I don't have 31. I only got up to 13.
Yeah.
And they're like, nah. You got to use the other button, put it on you, and then, you know, go to 31.
Yeah.
And I was just like, wow. And I was always wondering what that other button was for. And, you know, I put it on Channel 31, and, you know what I mean? It was history from there because Ralph McDaniels had came on, and, you know, Ralph McDaniels had let it, you know, he came on and told us, you know, we had Ralph McDaniels that came on, and, you know, he told us that, you know, get ready for this, you know, and the first video that played was Special Ed. I Got It Made. And I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
I was just like completely mind blown. I couldn't believe it. There were kids that looked like us at school. It was like so revolutionary, you know, revolutionary for me. And I was like, this is amazing right here, you know, because, you know, being a child, I always thought, you know, at that, you know, back then, you were silenced as a child. You didn't have as much, you know, as much voice, as boisterous that children are now. You weren't that boisterous back then. It's like your mom and dad said, hey, be quiet, and that was like the end of it. There was no, well, but, you know, because, and, but, and, you know, but, it was none of that.
No sidebars.
Yeah, it was just like, it was like one, be quiet, and then that was like that. There was no anything. So, you know, for me to see kids at my age, at a 13, 14, 15-year-old kid voicing and speaking with authority, I was just like, hey, this is definitely what I want to do. Like, hey, I'm sorry, I don't want to be a lawyer anymore. You know what I mean? This is it. This is what I want to do. This is good for me. So, you know, that's where it was.
Oh, man. Well, it sounds like you had a nice eclectic background as far as listening to music in the house with the country and the pop, man. That's kind of dope, man. You really don't hear too much of that. Like, I know in the 80s, we heard a lot of the pop and stuff, but the country I wasn't really introduced to country music till like I got older in life, you know, in college when I started meeting, you know, other kids of different backgrounds. So that's kind of dope, man, that you had that in your household, man. That's kind of fresh.
Yeah. I had it coming up early, you know, because, you know, again, you know, my family's Latin, you know, so, you know, my mom, she's from Honduras and Dominican Republic, and my dad, he's fully Honduran. Okay. You know, so it was like, you know, they had like, you know, Honduras has like it has like a Spanish type of West Indian feel. You know what I mean? So it's like the best of both worlds. And you know, that was it, you know, and I was like, you know, it was just very storyish. You know what I mean? The country western music was very storyish. You know what I mean? I remember sitting and watching a movie. I think it was called Roadhouse with Patrick Swayze. And I had me and my wife was watching that movie, and George Strait's song had came on when they were in the diner in the morning. All my exes live in Texas. And my wife was like, how do you know this song? Like, what would make you, where do you know this song from? I'm like, yo, that's my dad's song. Like, that's one of his favorite songs of all time. And it was like, it was just crazy, you know?
That's dope, man. That's dope, man. So let's fast forward to you started writing music and writing rhymes and everything. When you kind of started linking up with the Wu members and everything like that, what was that experience like for you at the beginning?
Well, Ghost is my first cousin.
Okay.
Cap is my god brother. But they're older than me, so I see them. Sergio Tortini, windbreaker outfits, and and Air Force Ones, and fly. But I wasn't on it like that yet. I was just a young boy, so what I mean. I was just basically looking at them like my older peers, like, oh, I want to be like them when I get older.
Yeah.
And they all every time we did get into like those freestyles where I always would turn the freestyle battles out because I always had like I always had an act for entertaining. Like I'd always entertain my mom's friends. I'd probably like lip sync New Edition, Cool It Now, what I mean, and do all the moves. And my two other cousins would be my sidekicks, and then they'd probably be like like my Temptations and all of that. So I always had that act of making everyone entertaining for the family. But when rapping came about and I started doing like the freestyling, I would always show out. But some people started getting hip to it because they're like, is he even saying anything that makes sense? But because I would make words up, you know what I mean? And it was like, amalical, shalalical, we are alical, ionical, tolical, ralical, fee, volical. And they'd be like, what? What's he saying? But we were kids, so they didn't know. They didn't know if I was saying things that made sense or if it was like, just rubbish or, whatever I was saying. But I was doing it good enough that, everyone was like, wow, he's killing it. And I always had that list. So they was like, I reminded them, they said, of Kool G Rap. So I that kind of just kept going for me. And then I just started like, basically, once I knew I had it, people kept saying like, yo, you're really good. You're going to be great one day. And I was like, okay, cool. And then I was like, well, if I'm going to do this for real, I think what I need to do is I need to figure out words that make sense. So I just started reading more.
Yeah. Dope. And when did you have that aha moment or that moment of, yes, I'm glad I went this route? Was there like a recording session or maybe being out on tour somewhere where you was like, I'm really glad this is what I really wanted to do?
No, I don't think I had that feeling yet. I think I had that feeling throughout my whole career. Just being a part of Wu-Tang and, Wu-Tang being so such of a legacy. I think I'm always on that. I think there's never one dull moment about being a part of Wu-Tang.
Yeah. So still enjoying the journey. That's dope to hear, man. Still enjoying the journey.
Yeah.
Dope, man. So let's talk about the music we got going on now, man. Are we recording a new album? Do we have a new album out so the listeners can go look for it?
I dropped the album back in the beginning of the year with my boy Tone Spliff. It was called The King and the Prophet. It was a dope album. I had Conway, Inspector Deck, Sadat X. It was really a dope project. Recognize Ali, you know what I mean? It was really super dope. So there's a lot of songs on there that are still buzzing to this point. I had tributes on there. I had good songs on there. But right now I have a new album that I'm putting together. Ghostface.
Did we lose you there?
Sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, Ghostface is executive producing the new album that I'm basically doing right now. So it's gonna be called King Kong of New York Volume 2. King Kong of New York Volume 2: The Return of Kong.
Nice. And I noticed too, man, just listen to a lot of your records, past and present, that you don't overthink the music, man. You kind of just kind of you get us in a circus tent with the rhythms, and then you hit them with the darts. You know what I'm saying? So I could definitely appreciate that about your music, is that you're not trying to overthink it and overdo it. You literally get us in with the rhythm of the music, and then you hit us with the knowledge after that.
Indeed.
Because some people like to overthink it and want to add too much and do too much, and they kind of lose the listener. You know what I mean? So that's definitely dope, bro. And you also had a guest appearance there in the conditioning video with Ghostface, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm in part 3.
Part 3. Okay.
I'm throughout the whole mini movie. Basically, the conditioning is basically we robbed this Latin boss for his money, his diamonds, and his woman. And then part 2 is called Party Over Here, where we celebrate because we've actually pulled off the sting and gotten away with everything. And then part 3, there's a guy who steps on Ghost's sneaker inside the club, and is very disrespectful and blunt about it. And then we drag him out and over to the docks, where it's part 3, where I'm doing the hook on that song, and I'm basically the only feature on the entire 3-part series. Dope, brother, man. So let me ask you this before we get out of here, man. What's out of the work that you've been putting in so far, man? What do you enjoy the most still about the creative process of creating good music? The finished product, I think. I think just to actually hear myself like, oh wow, you did this now. Wow, you did this, or you've done this, or because now I'm doing a lot more writing. And so it's I'm just venturing out. I'm writing a book right now. So it's a lot of venturing out. Utilizing my writing skills, more that I've acquired from writing music. So I'm able to really be able to give you more visual and more detail without, like you said, overdoing it. And what about your legacy, man? What do you want your legacy to be at the end of the day? What do you want them to write about Solomon Childs when they're inducting you into that Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in the hip hop wing? Outstanding poet. Outstanding poet, visualist, great all-around artist, hip-hop classic. Yeah, definitely. I can agree with that, man. You got a classic sound, brother, and I love playing your music, and the listeners love it. I played a couple tracks here recently, and always got good feedback on that. So, we definitely want to bring you back on, man. Anytime you got anything to promote, man, just let us know, and we'll definitely bring you back anytime you want, man. The door is always open here in the Mixtape Show. Thank you, Marty. Thank you so much for having me. Cool. Anybody want to shout out before we get out of here? I just want to shout out the whole Wu, all my family, all my loved ones, everybody who stuck by me throughout the years of me coming up, all the fans, all the real fans. And anybody who's out there who's looking for a feature or a collaboration, or they need me to be on one of their songs, get some good work in. Just hit me up on Instagram, S_Childs, and we can make something happen. Let's do it. Definitely, man. Well, I appreciate your time, brother. And like I said, hopefully we'll talk again soon, and we'll keep the communication and keep this network open, man. And like I said, we got you on this side of town. Anything you guys got going on, all right? Indeed, my brother. Thank you a lot for having me. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Solomon Childs joining us, the Artist of the Week here in the Mixtape Show. Appreciate everybody that's tuned in, and let's get into a couple of these records, and we'll be right back.